You're watching South Asia Newsline and here the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 2nd of February. Opposition raises Jharkhand political chaos in Indian Parliament. BJP terms it diversionary tactic. Activist laments since inception, Pakistan has never given rights to Baloch people. And Sri Lankan's online safety bill comes into force amid widespread criticism. And now for all the details. With the political chaos continuing in India's Jharkhand, opposition lawmakers on Friday raised the issue in the parliament, terming the development against the constitutional scheme of things. Leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge drew parallel between the happenings in Bihar and Jharkhand and questioned when there was no delay in swearing in of Nitish Kumar in Bihar, why no such interim arrangements was made after Hemant Soren's resignation as Chief Minister. Countering Kharge, Union Minister Piyush Goyal slammed the opposition and said they are not talking a word about the corruption charges against Hemant Soren but raising the issue as a diversionary tactic. Meanwhile, the former Jharkhand CM Hemant Soren was sent to 5-day custody. He had moved the Supreme Court against his arrest, but the top court has refused to entertain his plea. Arrest of a key ally and the political turmoil in Jharkhand is a challenge to the India alliance, both in terms of larger perception and electoral preparedness. And contradicting speculative media reports over defense deal, the Biden administration on Thursday notified the US Congress its intent to sell 31 armed MQ-9B Sky Garden drones, related missiles and equipment to India for nearly $4 billion. In a press statement, Defense Security Cooperation Agency, an agency under the U.S. Department of Defense, said that following the State Department's determination in approving the arms deal, the agency has delivered the required certification notifying the Congress of the possible sale. This proposed sale will support the foreign policy and national security objectives of the United States by helping to strengthen the U.S.-India strategic relationship, the statement added. The deal, which was in pipeline for years, got a go-ahead from both countries last year during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's state visit to the United States. The approval is an important landmark in the government-to-government deal amid few media reports stating that the deal was put on hold over the alleged assassination plot of India's designated Khalistani terrorist Gurpatwant Singh Pannu, who holds US citizenship. Ahead of general elections due next week, Pakistan's Election Commission on Thursday informed that the election in the country will go as scheduled despite security challenges, following a meeting to discuss increasing pre-poll violence in the west of the country. The meeting included top security officials to discuss the clashes in the provinces of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan after the killing of a candidate in a tribal district along the Afghan border a day earlier. Fears had risen about the possible delay with rising incident of violence. Pakistan faces twin insurgencies, one in northwestern Khyber Pakhtunkhwa by Islamist groups and one in the southwest by ethno-nationalist Baloch groups. The election also comes as popular former PM Imran Khan, who is in jail over a series of charges, has been disqualified from holding public office for next 10 years. Moving on, renowned BMN activist Hakeem Baloch has lamented Pakistan's ignorant attitude towards resolving the issues of Baloch people after the sit-in protesters in Islamabad were forced to call off their month-long movement. A report.
Stating that Pakistan has never given rights to the Baloch people, Hakeem Baloch, a leader of the Baloch national movement, has said that it is high time that the international community intervenes against the atrocities in Balochistan. Lamenting the plight of the Baloch sit-in protesters in Islamabad who were forced to end their month-long movement, Hakeem highlighted how Pakistani authorities mounted a campaign of disinformation against them and subjected them to repeated intimidation, arbitrary arrests and detentions.
The families of the Baloch missing persons were in Islamabad protesting in cold weather, and Islamabad was, instead of providing them justice, instead of sympathizing with them, instead of listening to their painful stories, they start blaming the victims, they start blaming the protesters, and they just show the world what their real face is. how ignorant the Pakistani state is, how brutal the Pakistani state is, how inhuman the Pakistani state is.
Baloch people have been targets of so-called military operations, ethnic stereotyping, and abductions by the Pakistani state, while it continues to exploit their natural resources. The situation is not highlighted by the local media, forcing them to seek intervention through global platforms.
And Pakistan on Thursday called on Kabul to extradite the leaders of militant outfit Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which it alleges enjoy safe havens in Afghanistan, the Dawn has reported. Addressing a media briefing, Pakistan's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mumtaz Zahra Baloch said Islamabad has urged Afghanistan to take immediate and effective action against terror entities and to hand over their leadership who have been involved in terrorist activities inside Pakistan. We have shared concrete evidence, she said, adding that the Pakistan government is concerned that TTP enjoys a free hand to attack Pakistan. Relations between Kabul and Islamabad have nosedived in recent days, with Pakistan accusing Afghanistan of providing safe haven to TTP militants to hide and conduct attacks on Pakistan. Kabul denies the allegation, terming militancy an internal matter of Pakistan. The militant outfit pledges allegiance to the Afghan Taliban but is not directly a part of it. And despite protests by activists and opposition leaders, Sri Lanka on Thursday passed a controversial law to regulate online content in a move rights groups saying aimed to stifling freedom of speech. The act was passed on 24th of January by 108 votes in favor and 62 against it, sparking protests outside the parliament. It came into effect this Thursday after the Speaker endorsed it. The Online Safety Act gives a government commission broad powers to access and remove prohibited content. The bill proposes jail terms for content that the 5-member commission considers illegal and making social media platforms such as Google, Facebook and X liable for such content on their platforms. However, President Ranil Wickremesinghe's government says the bill is aimed at battling cybercrime, including child abuse, data theft and online fraud. Scores of tourists are thronging the hill towns in India as a fresh spell of snow has covered the region in a pristine sheet of white after a long dry spell. Tourists in ski resort town of Gulmarg were seen engaging in winter activities as business owners in the region welcome crowds after a lull season. Gulmarg, a bowl-shaped plateau at an altitude of 8,500 feet, is a favorite among tourists to try out adventure sports like ice skating, skiing, gliding and racing. Earlier this month, a lack of snowfall had led to empty ski resorts and holiday cancellations, with scientists linking the unusual winter to the El Nino weather phenomenon.
बहुत ही अच्छा फर्स्ट टाइम ऐसे स्नो देखना, सब बहुत अच्छा, बहुत प्यारा है कश्मीर. सही में इसको हेवन जो बोला जाता है सच है. गुलमर्ग तो और भी सबसे प्यारी जगह है.
Similar scenes were witnessed in Himachal Pradesh. No snow until mid-January is an unusual phenomenon for locals and tourists alike. Hence, the first proper snowfall is being welcomed by visibly elated crowds. In Kufri, they were seen engaging in snow fighting and pony riding.
बहुत अच्छा लगा हमको यहाँ पे आके. पिछली बार नहीं हुआ था, इस बार हुआ है तो हम बहुत इंजॉय कर रहे हैं. फैमिली के साथ आए, बहुत मजा आया हमको.
That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.